Good evening, everyone. I don't know if you can hear me. Can someone please indicate if you can hear me? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. You're all welcome to Cohort 14 of the Electoral College Nigeria. So we're excited to have you here today. And if you're here today, then I must say congratulations for taking the bold step to be here today. So today we are going to be having introduction to Politeracy. But before we do that, let me quickly say that as soon as you join the call, if you're on this call right now and you haven't taken attendance, that's dropping your name in the chat box. Please endeavor to do that. And that is what is going to continue in all other classes. Once you join, you take attendance, and attendance is going to be taken before the class, right? When you join, during the class, and at the end of the class. So you don't think you're just going to take attendance and then you leave, right? So, and again, in the course of the class, you can as well write down your questions, jot your questions down. There's going to be an opportunity towards the end of the class for you to ask your questions. And if you feel you're somewhere you can't speak, you can as well drop your question in the chat box. We'll follow, and your questions are going to be answered. So without much ado, I'm going to introduce our facilitator for today. So I'm going to briefly read her profile before she takes over. So Wumi Lisa Hassan Bello is a girl child advocate and a political enthusiast, a graduate of biochemistry with a PGD in psychology. She has worked with several reputable organizations in Nigeria, including Heritage Banking Company, Dan Hausawa Media Nigeria, and Ray Power FM. She's currently the co-founder of L Speak Media Company, a company that offers consultancy and publishing services. She's also the founder of Work Against Rape and Sexual Abuse, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping victims of rape and sexual abuse. Her work with the Electoral College spans across 3 years and has translated in the political education of over 9,000 persons. She currently serves as the college's Deputy Executive Director, Politeracy. Wumi Hassan Bello is an avid reader, writer, and lover of God. She's happily married and blessed with two energetic youngsters. So, without much ado, I know you can't clap because you're muted. So, wherever you are, I want us to give a warm welcome to Lisa Wumi. Didi, you're welcome, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Peace. It's good to be here for the 14th time. Welcome, everyone. On behalf of the college, I welcome you all to the 14th cohort. On behalf of the Electoral College and on behalf of the Executive Director, which is on this call, but I'm sure you get to meet him as time goes on. So a few information before I start with my slides. So for the duration of this course, you're going to be having your classes on Friday, Saturday, and Sundays by 5 p.m. And political parties will be created for a simulation and you'll be shared into these political parties, to simulate real life experiences. I have to say at this point that please, it doesn't matter what political party you belong to, whatever party you're put in, please make sure you stay there. It's just a simulation. So even if you belong to APC in real life and you're put in PDP or you're put in Labour Party, it's for the duration of this course and it's for learning purposes. So please, we don't want issues where people say, oh no, this is not my party in real life and all that. Okay, so I just had to state that. And when you're shared into your parties, the rules and the guidelines will be shared to your respective groups so you know what is expected of you. And you also have team leads that are representatives of the college in each group to guide you. So whatever questions you have, whatever guidance you need, to be there to provide guidance to you. So we adjure you to give them the ultimate support and respect because they are representing the college in each of those groups. And then you also be expected to choose your own leadership amongst yourself. You choose the chairman for your party. You're going to choose the different people that will present you in the different debates, the different elections that will come up. It's going to be an interesting and transformative experience. I can guarantee you of that. And also there will be an end of cohort projects, which will involve dissemination of what you've learned to the public. Please note that this is a physical project. You're expected at the end of this course to disseminate all the knowledge that you've gained to the public. You could do it, maybe you could go to a school, you could reach out to your community, whatever way you choose. It's at the discretion of each party, but you just plan ahead of that so that at the end of the course, you will not start running helter-skelter trying to fix your project. And then Tuesday evenings will be for a review of classes. So each party will choose a representative that attended the class within the weekend. And then Tuesday evening, we're going to have a short quiz against each other, and you'll be asked questions, and this will also count for your scores as a party. While Wednesdays, general party task will be dropped, where you'll be told to select, the different, you'll be told to do your primaries and all that. Yeah. So please, I need to state that attendance is very key. We take our attendance very seriously. This course is free. It has cost a lot to put it together. It has cost resources. It has cost time and effort. So the least that we expect is that you give it your maximum commitment and you give it everything you have for the duration of this course. The course is expected to last for 9 weeks. So we're going to be here from May to the end of June, which will be your graduation. So you're expected to be committed. You need to make up your attendance to at least 80% to qualify for a certificate. So we don't expect that during classes, you have to be chased, you have to be reminded. Once it's 15 minutes to 5, the Zoom is already open and you're expected to all log in. And please write your name, like the moderator stated. Once you log in, write your name in the chat box as attendance. Write it the way you want it to appear on your certificate, your name in full. And if your Zoom is not reading your name, please make sure that you change your Zoom to read your name. Some people write, their Zoom name is maybe iPhone, Android, and all that. So please make sure that your Zoom reflects your name on how you want it to appear on your certificate. Yes. And also during debates, your videos need to be turned on. You're going to get familiar with all these rules as time goes on, but I'm just stating them now for the benefit of everyone. Yeah, but you're still going to have the party guidelines dropped in your various groups. So on behalf of the college, again, I welcome you to the 14th cohort of Politeracy and Governance 101. It is a time to unlearn. So whatever you've known before about politics, please just drop it and come with an open mind. It's time to unlearn. It's time to relearn. It's going to be a transformative journey. I assure you of that. It's going to be a transformative journey. We expect your full participation in your parties. Participation is key. Attendance is not just about attending classes. You also need to be active on your various groups. At the middle of the cohort, we're going to flush out people that are inactive, people that have not been attending classes. So please make sure that you're here in body, soul, and spirit. All right, Isaac James, you have a question. I think I'll just allow you to ask that before I bring up my slides. Is it related to whatever I've spoken about so far? You can go ahead. I've asked you to unmute. Isaac James. Okay. If you're not ready, I'll just go ahead with my slides. And whatever questions we have, just put them down, and at the end of the class, we're going to take them. So, Introduction to Politeracy and Governance. Today is just an introductory class. All the things that will be said, they'll be taken in classes that will come up subsequently in, a more detailed manner. So today is just to introduce you to the course, basically. Just give me a minute while I bring up my slide. Okay. Please confirm that you can see my slides.
Yes, I can see.
Okay, awesome. All right, so introduction to politeracy and governance. What is politeracy? It's the education of the electorate on governance systems and processes so that they know what to demand of elected officials. It's a word that is coined from two words, politics and literacy. So together you have political literacy, which is politeracy, and that's the education of the electorate. Who is the electorate? You and I are the electorate. We make up the electorate. So politeracy is the education of us, you and I, on governance systems and processes so that we know what to demand of elected officials. So this course is going to cover a lot of classes. We're going to be looking at the executive, the local government, the legislative, the judiciary, political parties, candidate declaration, manifesto and agenda, the electoral act, the fourth estate in a democracy, psychology of politics, governance and corruption, the constitution, advocacy and policy influencing national ethics and integrity, challenges of young people in politics. It's a full course. So whatever it is that you think you know about politics, I'm sure at the end of this course, you're going to have a rethink of that. So what are the methods to propagate politeracy? The first is formal education, which is similar to what we're doing here, where you go to get educated in a formal way. The second is culture. Culture has a way of determining the political beliefs of a place. Okay, for example, in Nigeria, it is widely believed that you cannot run in a place that is not your state of origin. But actually, that is not contained in the Constitution. The criteria for election for a president is that you must be a citizen by birth, you must have attended, you must be a school party and be sponsored by that party, and you must be educated to at least school set level. And same for a governor too. You must be a citizen of Nigeria by birth. You must have attained the age of 35 years. You must be a member of a political party and be sponsored by that party and be educated to at least school SAT level. Yeah. So there's no provision in the Constitution that states that you have to be from that state before you can run as a governor of that state. But based on culture, it is widely believed that you actually have to be from that state. So another way that we propagate politeracy is through political party. Like the executive director will say that a political party is the vehicle to political office. It's the only vehicle, as a matter of fact, to political office. So political party is a way that you propagate political literacy. When you join a political party, you learn their rudiments, you learn their constitution, you learn how politics work. So it's a way of propagating politeracy. Another way is the media. Though the media is not always a reliable source because they don't always say it as it is, but the media is also a tool for propagating politeracy. And then we also have engagements. This includes town hall meetings, different convergence, conferences and all that. These are ways of promoting politeracy. So governance, what exactly is governance? Governance is the way and manner power is exercised in the management of a country's human, material, and economic resources. That is what governance really is. And then we have the different arms of governance. We have the legislative, we have the executive, and we have the judiciary. And for these three, we actually have the different tiers, which are the federal, the state, and the local government. So for the executive, we have the appointed and the elected executives. The elected ones are the ones that we're familiar with. On the federal level, we have the president and vice president, while on the state level, we have the governor and the deputy. And then the appointed executives, we have the DGs, the executive secretaries, the chairman of parastatals, ministers, SAs, commissioners on the state level. Those are the appointed. And then for local government level, we have the elected executive as the local government chairman and his or her deputy. And then the appointed secretaries of health, education, PAs, SAs, and all that. And then for the legislative, we have the federal and the state House of Assembly. And the House of Representatives actually has 360 that are representing constituencies from each state. The Senate consists of 3 senators from each state and 1 from the Federal Capital Territory. That's 3 times 36, and then 1 from the Federal Capital Territory, which brings it up to 109. So we have 109 senators, which are also referred to as the red chambers, and then the House of Representatives, which are 360 members, are called the green chambers. Please, can you kindly unmute? Can you kindly mute your mics as you join?
Good day.
Thank you.
Good day. Yes, sir. Your video is up.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Your video
Hello?
is off. Your video is off.
Okay, yes, it's because I'm sharing my screen. As soon as the slide is off, it will come back on. I'm actually using my phone for that. Yeah. Okay, so for the councillors, these are the House of Assembly for the local government. And then for judiciary, we have the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, which is usually by appointment. So these are some of the arms of governance. But like I said, all these different arms are going to be taken in the subsequent classes by themselves. So we're going to have a class for the legislative, for the executive, and for the judiciary. And we're going to go in depth for all these classes. So how do we enhance governance? The first is by participation. It is very important that we learn to participate. One of the reasons why governance has really been poor is because there has been poor participation among the electorate. We don't even know what is expected, so we don't even know what to ask for. So participation is very key. Join a political party, become politically literate. It's not just about voting. It's more than just voting. You have to participate. And then the second is solution-oriented mechanisms. We have to have mechanisms that work, solutions that work, not trying to save a situation when it's already half bad. No, we should be able to think ahead and say, okay, before this thing comes up, it should be a visionary way that we approach issues in the country. And that's going to help to enhance our governance in Nigeria. And then financially unattractive offices. This is also very, very important. A lot of people go into politics because of what they can get, not because of what they can give. Very few people really go there to serve. Politics and leadership is about serving. The executive director will call himself the chief servant of the college. It's about serving. It's not about getting. It's not about seeing how much you can just amass for yourself. So when political offices become financially unattractive, this is going to make the people that want to go there, people that really want to serve, not people that just want to go and amass and see what they can get for them and their children and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren. So financially unattractive offices is one way that will enhance good governance. And then understanding by the electorate of elected office jurisdictions and powers. That is what that is our vision in Electoral College, to make sure that the electorate is educated so that you even know what the elected officials, what their jurisdiction is, what their powers are, what to expect of them. For example, do you know that the president can have an opinion, but he actually does not have the power to pass bills? That power is invested in the National Assembly. So when you know this, everything is not going to be the president, the president, the president. We're going to be able to hold the right people accountable. Like the executive director will also say, he'll say that the local government is the first handshake, to the people. We'll know that, okay, it starts from your councillors, it starts from your local government chairman. How many of us even know our local government chairpersons to start with? Everything we feel, it's the president, but these people are there to make sure that you have people that you can interface. When your roads are not made, you don't go to hold the president. The president might not even know the way to your village, as the case may be. That is the work of the people that have been placed at that community, the area councillors, the local government chairman. Those are their duties. And when you know, that is when you can actually ask and demand for accountability. So public servants should actually be focused on serving the public, like the name implies, public servants. It should be on serving the public. It should not be on what can I get, how much can I make for myself, how much, it's interesting, a lot of fraud cases that have been popping up, and you're seeing people that are being charged for frauds of billions of naira. And then you're wondering, like, how did we get here as a nation? When there are so many things to do with that money, and then it's just one person that is amassing that. So public servants should serve the public, like the name implies. So what is the target really of this course? I'm sure some of us signed up maybe from recommendations from friends or from those that have attended the course, and then you're wondering, what is the target of this course? The first is to ensure political literacy. We're here to teach you about politics and governance in its truest sense and form, to broaden the perspectives of the common citizens, to re-examine the status quo, what you've always believed to be the truth. You're going to know whether it's actually a myth or a reality, to encourage political participation. After this course, I'm sure a lot of us, the political apathy that is so common among the youth especially, I'm sure that will be dealt with, for everyone that passes through this course. You're going to see the reason why you actually need to be more participatory in politics, no matter what level you are. And then to uncover the myth of political participation. A lot of us think that, politics, it's a dirty game. Politics, you have to be very, very, very wealthy before you can go into politics. All these myths will be dealt with, and you will see that they are actually just that, myth. So I'll just end with this quote from Abigail Spamberger, and she said that good governance should be an expectation and not an exception. I take that again. Good governance should be an expectation and not an exception. Thank you so much. I'll take questions now. If you have questions, just indicate by show of hands.
Okay, so please, thank you so much, Didi, for this. So much. Okay, so please, if you have any questions, you can just indicate by raising up your hand, and I'm going to ask you to unmute so you can ask your question. And if you're where you can't speak, you can as well do well to drop your question in the chat box. We're going to read it out. Okay, I can see hands already. So we're going to start, we'll be interchanging. We'll take those who would speak and ask their questions, and then those who will drop their questions in the chat box. So we're starting with Adam. Adams, you can unmute and ask your question.
All right, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, but you need to speak up.
Oh, okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. So once again, my name is Adam Taufik. I must say a very big thank you to the facilitator, because it's actually been a life-changing experience just from day one. I've learned some things that I don't, I've never believed it used to be. So my first question actually goes to, my first question is the quote the facilitator ended with, which is the good governance should be an expectation and not exception. So I want to ask, what exactly do you mean by that? Can you give an illustration to explain that? So thank you very much.
All right, thank you for that question. Okay, good governance should be an expectation. For example, now when, let's say, the roads are made in your community, the people are going to rejoice and say, oh my goodness, the governor is working, the local government chairman is working, the who is working. That should be what they should do. That is what your taxes are for. I hope you know that you're being taxed. When you go to an eatery and then you see VAT, all those tax, they're actually going to the government. So that is what the tax should be for. When you pay for NEPA bills, and then you're giving lights, and then you're rejoicing, that should be the norm. you should actually expect power. So it shouldn't be an exception where we rejoice when the right things are done. We should expect that those are the things that are supposed to be done. In a society that works, you don't have to, it's not a prayer point to have light. It's not a prayer point to have good roads. It's not a prayer point to have a judiciary system that works. Those are the expectations. It should never be an exception. I hope you understand now.
Understood. Thank you very much, ma'am.
You're welcome. I think
okay, thank you so much. Yes. Okay, let's take Olumide. After Olumide, then we take the question in the chat box. Olumide, you can unmute and speak.
Okay. Good evening. I hope I'm coming out loud and clear.
You're loud and clear.
Good evening. I hope I'm coming out loud and clear.
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yes. All right. As you can see, the name is Olumide Ogunbe. And let me quickly go straight to my question. I hope as the lecture or the court goes on, we'll be able to have the slides, like the slides you used today now. Are you going to give us maybe a copy of it? Because, sometimes we need to rehearse and, read ahead to better understand. So I hope the copy of the slides will be made available.
Yes, the slides are on the Zoom, are on the Telegram. Are you on the Telegram group?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, the slides were posted earlier. Just scroll up.
Okay.
The slides are always posted before the class so that you can go through before the class.
All right.
I hope that answers the question.
Yeah. I'm
okay. Good. Okay, thank you so much for that. I think we have a question. First of all, okay, from Manasseh Melafia. He said political offices all over the world are lucrative. No, a comment, not a question. They are not unattractive. Political offices all over the world are lucrative. They are not unattractive. So, Didi, your comment on that?
I don't agree with that. Good day.
Yes.
Good day.
Didi, please go ahead.
Everyone. My name is Kune Lawal. I'm the executive director of the Electoral College Nigeria. I believe when Lisa was talking, Lisa made something very clear. This is stated as a culture of what we believe politics is. And as you come into this class, I beg you to unburden yourself. Our political offices kind of comfortable people that are in when you use the word lucrative, it is not a business. A business is lucrative. So you could have your ideology of it's not what you think. I would say, okay, Donald Trump is like of the US. Yeah, he has security agents around him.
You're breaking a bit, Edie. Sorry.
Hello?
Your line is breaking a bit. It's not very clear.
Hello?
Okay, Edie, you're breaking. I think if you're using an earpiece. Yes, but it's not clear. It's not clear. Probably your mouthpiece, if you're using an earpiece or, I don't know. Just
Can you hear me
try
clearly
to
now?
fix. Yes, it's clear now.
Can you hear me clearly now?
Yes,
Can you hear me clearly now?
Edie. Yes, Edie.
Okay. So yes, political offices come with perks, but it doesn't mean they are lucrative. It's not a business. Lucrative refers to, and anytime the word lucrative is used, it refers to quite profitable to the person that has access to it. Now, political offices are there. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, so political offices are not supposed to be lucrative. Like I said, when you come to this class, we need you to divorce yourself of the culture you already have, disabuse yourself of what you already think it is. I'll tell you something. Politics and governance has no position for emotion and sentimentality. Those do not exist in politics and governance. I need you guys to critically understand that. And this course, though this is the first class, it's totally introductory. From tomorrow, you will delve into the game as it's supposed to be. I need you guys to understand that we're going to learn from each other. But I'm sure there are a lot of things we have to show you. So the comment, politics is lucrative all over the world, is wrong. Totally wrong. It's not vested, and it's from probably You know, there's always the need, and I would say this, most activists will feel that generally this is this, this is that, this is that, this is that. It's not necessarily true. I'll be honest with you, like I'll give an example. Most people think that senators earn a lot. So when senators or people in National Assembly earn a lot, so when National Assembly says they want to increase their salary, everybody screams. I'll tell you, their salary has been about 500,000 since about 2011 or 2010 till now. So the problem is not their salaries. The problem is their allowances. We push what they earn in a month, goes 36.5 million a month. So when they tell you during COVID that they're giving their salaries out, you guys feel it's 36.5. No, it's actually 500,000. So because you can't tell the difference because of how unpoliterate you are, you're going to assume they're giving out 36.5. So politics is not lucrative. It's not a business. It's just supposed to make whoever is in office have a few perks that he doesn't need to stress himself over. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Edie. I can see another question from the chat. Is asking, how can we disabuse people's minds with religionship and politics? Didi, can you hear me?
Please, I can hear you. Can you go again with the question? I'll take it.
Okay, how can we disabuse indigenship in politics?
Indigenship.
How can we disabuse people's minds with regards to indigenship and politics?
Indigenship is that a word? Anyway, I know what he's trying to say, or he or she is trying to say. Now, first and foremost, we stated clearly before beginning of this class, I think Lisa stated it, that it is not possible. No political party within its constitution or whatever, all political parties require is that you go and register at a ward. It doesn't state you should go to your state of origin. It just states you should register at a ward. So whatever we have brought into politics with ethnicity, it's us that dictated it. And case in example, I'll use an analogy. Faleke ran with the then late, can't remember his name, then late governor of Kogi State, who actually won the elections before Yaya Bello was put into office. And Faleke was his deputy governor. Faleke ran in Kogi, which is originally from. And Faleke, of course, when Yaya Bello was made governor, Faleke lost that. But Faleke went back to Lagos, and Faleke is a serving House of Rep in Lagos. So I don't understand how the elite has confused you people when series of this happened. Osibanjo, when he was running for president, when he was running for vice president, was Lagos indigenized. But when he wanted to go into the APC primaries, he was going to run against Tinubu at the primaries. He went back to his home Ogun State and started garnering votes from there. So, like I said, culture is defined as a way of life. We have built a culture in Nigeria of what politics is, away from what politics actually is written by the books, guided by the Constitution and the Electoral Act. So we've created what politics is. So there is no need to remove anything that doesn't exist. There is no indigenization in politics on paper. The indigenization has been brought by a few to limit a few. It does not stop you. If you come from Benue State and you're born and raised in Plateau State and you want to run for governor, you can run for governor. There's even a calculation, and I'm going to state this, there's a calculation somewhere that Kano, by projection, about 2031 and a little after, would have a governor that's not from Kano. And here's the conversation. The population of non-indigenous votes in Kano has risen above 40% in the last elections. It means that if all non-indigenous come together and the the Kano people decide to produce 6 or 7 gubernatorial candidates, it indirectly means that if the non-indigenous stick with one candidate, they will win that election. It might not sound possible, your culture might blind you, but those are statistics on ground. I'll go to an election which was done in Oyo State, which brought in Shea Makinde. And we worked on a little bit of strategy over it. And Makinde, who had run 2 times, was always within 39, 41% of elections, of total votes. And Makinde couldn't clinch it. But the last time he ran, which was 2019, which delivered him the elections, he decided to open up his campaign to the Epics, the Hausas, and other tribes available in Oyo State. And he was able to defeat the ruling party because he decided to thrive on non-Indian votes in Oyo State. So as you go along the class, you would understand these things I'm saying. I'm just, trying to bring context to, the subject of ethnicity in politics and etc. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Ide. Ibrahim Mustafa, you can unmute and ask your question.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes. It's Ibrahim Mustafa, calling from Borno State. And my question goes like this. You earlier mentioned of the criteria for a candidate, that is the qualification, that you should have a certificate. Those certificates cuts across, is it secondary, primary, or tertiary institutions? And secondly, regarding the issue of indigenship, as we make mention earlier, it seems even if you're born and raised up in a state, maybe I was born and raised up in Medjugorje, whereas I'm from Yobe State, by the virtue of the culture, the people and the political class in the area will not allow me to contest. So what is your view in this discussion? Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm sorry, my network threw me out, so I lost the co-host function. Okay, for the first question you asked, it's senior secondary school certificate. Yeah, I actually specified that. Yeah, so it's senior secondary school certificate, that is the minimum qualification. And then for the internship, I think ED has answered that question already. There is no provision in the Constitution that says that you must be an indigene before you can run. So like you that grew up, you were born and bred there, nothing stops you from running. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question.
At this point, I think we need to make it realistic for them. Most of the time when you're talking with Nigerians, they think that you are talking because you are theoretical or this has not been practiced, or we are saying things because we think we know from a theoretical perspective. So I'll introduce myself. My name is Kunle Lawal. I was a candidate 2019 FCT senatorial. Had quite a good race. And I thought I'd have waited for you guys to find that out. But you guys are trying to bring in the emotional part of politics, which I'm not interested in delving into right now. So I'm going to make it clear to you. I ran in FCT. I'm not from the FCT. I've lived 22 years in the FCT, but I'm not from the FCT. I'm originally, ancestrally from Kwara State. I was born and raised in Zaria, Kaduna State. And I ran there. I was fine. I had quite a good race. I was among top 4 candidates in 2019. And if we haven't lived this, we won't tell you. So I'm not telling you. You guys are subjective. You are talking about what you dream of. We've lived this in the college. So we have the right when we tell you that this isn't as it is. This is how it is. We can tell you that. So don't think we're talking from an how do I put it, an ideological perspective of a Nigeria that does not exist. We're telling you from what we have done and achieved within the college. So I hope that it's very clear to you guys. Because the questions I'm seeing and the kind of conversations I'm hearing, let me tell you one thing you should do when you're in this class: kill your emotionality and your sentimentality. It doesn't work here. We are dealing with facts, things that have been tested, things that have worked, and what the Constitution is. So you've read the Constitution. Do not argue what the Constitution is. I know that a lot of activists say, the Constitution is useless, we should throw it away. Anybody that tells you that has not read the Constitution. Is the Constitution practiced to what it's supposed to be? That's a different conversation. It's a totally different conversation. But the Constitution as is it functional? Yes, it is. But is it practiced as supposed to be? That's another conversation. And I can tell you that a Constitution will not stand up and hit your heads on the book. No, hit your heads with the book, sorry. If the citizens do not know the constitution and politicians decide to play around it, then that is your own problem. And that's what the electoral college is trying to avoid. So what we're doing here is trying to educate you to a particular level. So if we tell you you can run somewhere, we're not telling you because we think it is so, because on paper it is so. We're telling you because one or a few of us within the college have actually done it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I hope that settles the question. So you've heard from someone that has been there, done that. Yeah. So any more questions?
Okay, yes, Didi, we have question in the chat box. Someone is saying, okay, he's asking for the soft copy, right? Solomon Yunana, you have the soft copy, the PowerPoint in the Telegram group. Then someone is asking, one of the goals of this course is to disabuse our minds about political participation and apathy. Now, how can one encourage elderly folks who believe strongly that their votes don't count and that the winner has already been selected to go and vote?
Rather is exactly what we're doing here. We're teaching you so that you become ambassadors of the college. It doesn't just end here. After the course, we expect that what you've learned, you're enlightened enough to now go and tell others out there that, okay, this is not how it is. Your vote actually counts. And not just about voting, even encourage them to also participate. Let them join political parties. Because the truth is that if you're just relying on voting, it's the people that are participating that will be the people that will be voted for. So if you're not even at the table, how do you expect to be represented? So it's important that we all participate so that it's not people that we don't have to choose between the devil and the deep blue sea, so that we know that whoever it is that we even want to vote for is someone that, we're being represented. That's why we're always talking about participation. Because if you're just relying on voting, you're only left with the options of those that are participating. And then what if those people that are actually participating are not representing the best interest of the people? So participation is very key. Everybody should participate, the young, the old.
Lisa, let me expand what you're saying.
As you're eligible.
Lisa, let me expand what you're saying. It's common conversation. The NOA, that's National Orientation Agency, a lot of CSOs, all they drum about, get your PVC, get your this. Well, we're lucky within the Electoral College. A few of us have served massive hierarchy, that's national level in political parties. Now, I'll tell you something. If you think you run a democracy in Nigeria, you don't yet run a democracy. We run a selection, not an election, and I'll tell you why. You're not part of the political parties, so people are chosen for you. And then out of the 10, you pick a messiah and say that's the one you're following. That's not a democracy. Because it's only voting you're considering. So we ignore the process in democracy and we focus on the result of the democracy. The result can never be great if you've ignored the process. So the more people are in political parties, the more people that will become delegates, the more people that will be able to bring out the kind of people that deserve to be in these offices. If we ignore that, then it's not a shame why we would have some people presently in particular offices. And that is the way it is supposed to be. A lot of us, and I need to reiterate, a lot of us within the Electoral College have served within political party hierarchy at the highest level, national level, highest level. We've worked within matters, we've run for office, we've done a lot of things. So what we're telling you is we're not telling you because we want to say it or want to sound ideological. I'll tell you, if you're still relying on elections to change Nigeria, then that means we're not ready for a country yet. A democracy is a full process. Starts from the beginning. I'll give you an example. Within the Electoral Act, it clearly states that I think 991A or 92A, I can't remember. I'm talking off the top of my head, but it's on the Electoral Act and you can Google it. It clearly states that no political party in Nigeria can conduct a convention or a primaries if it hasn't submitted its hard copy and its soft copy of its membership list across Nigeria to the INEC. None of the 18 political parties in 2023 did this, which means every primaries, every convention is null and void. But I'm sorry, you're Nigerians, you don't read. So, of course, you don't know.
Yeah. Okay, I think we lost Edie. We can't hear you. Okay.
No, you didn't. I closed now. I dropped my
You dropped you dropped the mic. Okay. I think someone was asking for the hours of the class earlier. I saw that question in the chat box. Okay, the class is from 5 to 7 p.m., give or take. Sometimes you finish earlier, but those 2 hours are the stipulated time. Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, 5 to 7 p.m. So please put that into your schedule. I think, okay, Peace, are you there? Okay, I think, let me just see some of the questions. Okay, I can't see any more questions in the chat box, but I can see some people indicating with the show of hands. Okay, Isaac James, I've asked you to unmute.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, this is Isaac from Jos.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So far, I'm a party member, but I am the publicity secretary of the party in my locality.
Okay.
And of course, at the same time, I double as a media aide to a reps member. This is encouraging. It's, for me, it's a way forward to produce future leaders that will create the country of our dreams. What I want to know, I believe your office is in Abuja. I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we have in Lagos and Abuja.
Yeah, so do you have, is there any plan to have branches in other states so that you can have wider coverage of
we
other
have
regions of the
representatives
country?
in each state. We have representatives in each state. I, for example, I'm in Kaduna at the moment. I'm representing the college in Kaduna. We have deputy directors that represent the college in different states. Yeah, so
okay.
We have nationwide coverage.
What about Jos, where I am?
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of people in Jos. A lot. In fact, the moderator is your deputy director of Plateau State.
Yeah. So the present
So we have a very strong presence in Jos.
All right.
Yeah.
Keep it up. I'm impressed.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, Rachel Bassi, you can ask your question. I think one important thing that we should take away from this class is, please, whatever you've known about politics so far, just drop it at the door. Just drop it at the door. And just be ready to relearn. Unlearn and relearn. That is the advice I'll give you. Rachel, please go ahead and ask your question.
Good evening, Ma. First of all, I want to say thank you for this class. It has been enlightening, and should I say reforming, because it's changing our mindset from what we originally held as the norm. So let me say it's mind reforming. So I have a question still on this issue of indigenization of politics. I happen to be an active young politician in my state and my local government per se. So
Rachel, before you continue, could you be kind enough to just tell us what state this is and what local government, locality you're talking about?
Okay, I'm from Cross River State, Calabar Municipality, Nigeria.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so my question goes this way. On this matter of indigenization for the women, there is a, should I say, stereotype or societal rejection for women who are trying to contest for elections or who are given opportunities in elections in states that are not originally their state of origin. For instance, I got married from Akwa Ibom State, and going into politics in Akwa Ibom State, there's so much stereotypes and a lot of plenty talk, go back to your state, this is not your state, and all of that as against the woman. So in this case, what do I do?
Rachel, okay. I'd like to take your question. Rachel, I'd like to take your question from two angles. First and foremost, what state did you grow up in?
I grew up in Cross River State.
Okay, you're now married in Akwa Ibom State.
I'm not yet married. I'm still single.
Okay, so we are guessing that you are thinking of marrying somebody from Akwa Ibom.
No, I'm not thinking of marriage.
No,
I'm asking a general
no,
question.
just yes, that's why I said for context. For context. For the
Okay,
context
for
of your
context.
question, let's just
Okay.
let's use this. Now, are you from Calabar Municipal?
Yes.
You're not from Yako or Bubura or Obudu or Bakasi. Anyway,
No, I'm from
no, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I was just showing off that I know your state well. So back to what I was saying. Now, I'll tell you something about politics. You can only run where you are known. So if a woman gets married to somebody in Akwa Ibom and she moves to Uyo, and she lives in Uyo for 2 years, and she has lived in Cross River for 23 years, and she might actually be from Akwa Ibom. Your strength actually is in Cross River. It's not in Uyo. That is political indices for clear. As in, this is not, even a guy will take the same decision. Because you can't compare 2 years that you spent in, like, I'll give you an example. When I was running for office, I had the option to run in Zaria, which is where I was born and raised, and Zaria is in Kaduna State, and then Abuja, which is where I spent most of my grown-up life. But I left university at about 19 years old, and I left ABU Zaria. What people remember of me there is not, I can't speak in this class for protection of my public image. I cannot say what they remember of me in Zaria. But I was a young, and then now Abuja remembers me as, that consultant who came in, young boy, started his company, build this, build that. That's what Abuja remembers me. Now, strategically, which do you think I would want? Which image do you think I want to run by? Of course, it is Abuja. I wouldn't pick that. So what most people do not understand about politics in Nigeria, as much as they ignore it, there's a strategy to politics. Do not think there's no strategy in politics. Now I'm going to take you back to the 2023 election. So that I want to show you a few things. Now, a particular song came out, which kind of seemed to hail a particular candidate, but it looked like it was nothing. I won't call the name of the song, I won't call the name of a particular candidate. It seemed it was nothing. Came out about a year and a half before elections. Strategically, Big Brother seemed to happen almost before elections, with no announcement. Do you remember? Hello? Can you guys hear me? Rachel, are you there?
Yes, we can hear you, Edie.
Okay, Rachel, are you there? Okay, Rachel, do you remember that Big Brother happened shortly before elections?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Was it advertised? It just happened, right?
It just happened. Yeah.
You guys are not paying attention. What do you think happened? I'm going to ask you, what do you think happened?
Distraction.
What do you think happened, Rachel?
There was a distraction during the politics. Though I'm not a fan of the Big Brother, I don't like it as a whole, but
it's not
attention of the youth
shifted.
taken to the Big Brother.
Oh, no problem. By the end of this class, you understand why. When we go over political strategy and etc., you understand why. I don't want to bust the whole class now, but I want to show you that if you think in Nigeria there's no strategy in politics, then that means you're very wrong. You're very, very wrong. I'll use your state as an example. I'm very concerned with your state. You remember your former governor. And your former governor seemed to do something. Cross River has always been a state that has produced quite young politicians who have taken over the status quo, true or false, in earlier years.
True.
The few godfathers you remember, Imoke, Donald Duke, Geshon Bassi, at a very young age.
Yes.
And when somebody took over, what did he do? He took away the economics of the state and was providing a salary structure for people, young boys in politics. What happened?
Yes.
He crippled the entire young structure that could have taken him down. He held 8 years, ran the state as he wanted to run it. True or false?
Yes.
There's a lot of, so I know that we started at indigenization, but there's a lot of strategy to politics, which, you must sit down and think about. You don't just say, I want to run for office. And when you're running for office, I always tell people, you don't run with what's obvious. Like, I'll tell you a mistake, no offense or no attack to women or young people. But I'll tell you a mistake young women and women and young people in politics make. You come out and you say, vote for me, I'm a woman. Vote for me, I'm young. Really? Really? What we can see. No, let's be honest. You don't tell people what they can see. Let them see something they cannot see in politics. You do something and they're like, man, still understands the constitution clearly, and she's talking about legislative functions, etc., 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 and she's a woman. They will tell you who you are. But when the only conversation you have is I'm a woman or I am young, what else are you bringing to the table now? Good governance, and I'll reflect this clearly. Good governance has no gender, no ethnicity, and no age. So don't think because somebody is young is going to perform better than somebody that is old. Don't think somebody is old is going to perform better than someone that's young. Don't think that a woman is going to perform better than a guy. Don't deceive yourself. It's not going to happen. Neither is a guy going to perform better than a woman. If somebody understands governance, person understands governance. It has nothing to do with person's gender, age, or ethnicity. I hope that answers your question. Thank you very much.
That was. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Evie, for that. Tukur, you can unmute and ask your question. Tukur Aliyu.
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Good evening, everyone. My name is. Question is on the course. I'm asking if this, apart from this.
Please, you need to speak up because you're a bit far and low, so you can project, please.
Okay, I'm asking about the. And apart from this, if there is any other resource. I heard earlier. I'm not reading that much materials.
Okay, Tukur, we're going to share the Electoral Act with you and the Constitution that you can download, and then subsequently the different slides for all the classes.
Okay.
Let me put this in, and I want to understand this. What we're doing with you is over 9 weeks. If in 2 hours you want to understand everything we're doing, it's not going to work. I will tell you. Let me give you a rough question. How many political parties are in Nigeria? Hello? Tukur, can you hear me? Yo, you can't say. See where the conversation is.
I can't say.
Yes, so beautifully. Let's work together. There are 18 political parties in Nigeria. Let's work together. Slowly, we will get across everything. Don't be in a rush. There's a lot we need to put inside you, and there's a lot you need to understand. Please, just follow the college step by step. Be patient. Please, don't try and accumulate everything you want to assimilate today. It's not going to work. Even us putting out 9 weeks is us actually crash pressing you. So trust me, there's so much to learn. Just take a walk through everything. Tomorrow you have the executive. I think I'm the one taking that class. No, what do we have? Lisa, is it executive tomorrow?
Yes.
Hello?
Executive, yes.
Okay, I'm the one taking that class. I'll tell you it's massive, but we're going to compress it to the barest minimum. So please, and please, and please, let's walk through everything. You understand? Because you guys stop. We're going to drop enough resource. Sit down on your Telegram group. There's enough information there. There's already enough information. I'm surprised you guys are even asking about information which is already on the Telegram group. We've already domiciled this information. The Telegram group is home for you till you guys join your political parties, which will be about Monday. So we'll randomly access you into political parties. And once we do that, of course, more information will be placed within those parameters. So you guys should not try to compress, learn so much today. You can't learn so much today. The political sphere, well, I wouldn't say it took me about 9 years to understand what I understand, but we're trying to squeeze that into 9 weeks. So please, everybody, could you just work with the college a little bit? Let's all work together. We'll learn from you guys. Learn from us. Is that okay?
Okay, thank you. Martha. Yeah, Martha Agba, you can unmute and ask your question.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Martha Agba. I would like to add to what Edie said earlier on, and that's in response to Bassi, the lady from Cross River. I don't know if Rachel Bassi, I don't know if she's still on.
Martha, I think, since you came on, as far you are Martha now. You are the best person that could have come on for this for Rachel. Please, I'd like Rachel unmuted. Martha is Deputy Director, Electoral College, Cross River. Martha is also a former House of Rep aspirant. And Martha has lived the life you're trying to talk about. So Martha is the best person in position to answer this. Please, they should unmute Rachel. Rachel
Thank
should be
you,
unmuted.
sir.
Rachel, so Martha will give you everything that I couldn't give you. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so Rachel, you spoke about Cross River, for example. So we have a living example from Cross River. So the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, maybe under suspension, she's not from Cross River State, but she became a DG in Cross River State. She became a commissioner in Cross River State. She became a woman leader of APC political party in Cross River State, and then she moved to become a minister. So we have various women in National Assembly. We have there's Senator Binta and many others who are actually holding positions that are not from their probably state of origins. So some of them are probably because they grew up in that location. Some went through marriage and all of that. So it is not about you saying they tell you to go back to where you come from. So I think another thing is about you as an individual. So if you know the Constitution and what the Constitution is saying, just like Edie has mentioned earlier on, I think you can stand your ground. But not just standing your ground. Then again, what value are you bringing? So are you coming to just shout and say, oh, we need women, we need the 35% affirmation, which doesn't really make sense, or they don't even believe in? But then again, what value are you bringing? I think your value will make them even sought after you because they will want to have you come into the space to say, okay, come and do this. But then again, it's not going to be easy. But how or what are you willing to sacrifice to get yourself to that position? So I think you have to unlearn the facts to say, oh, they will not give me or they will ask me to go. They'll ask you to go because they want to scare you off. But then again, are you holding your ground? Are you bold enough to say, you know what, I'm here for this, I'm going to do it and put all my honor into it? So thank you. So I think you need to unlearn that and actually start working toward trying to make impact in Cross River State. Except you want to go back to Uyo. But then again, it's all about nation building. So we still appreciate any effort you do towards that from any place in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you. And Rachel, what Martha did not add is that Martha was born and raised in Kaduna State. Like me, she's fluent. Hausa is her first language. Martha took the opportunity, came to Cross River, did what she wanted to do, ran for House of Rep in Cross River North, didn't get the ticket. Martha moved on to National APC. She's done quite a lot of work. You should hold Martha's level. Martha is somebody they should write a book about. So Martha is a boss. She's my boss now. My boss. You should know, Martha is one of those that have been there and done that. You really should hold that close. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Didi, for that contribution. Micah, you can unmute and ask your question. Micah.
Okay, can you hear me, everyone? Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, we can hear you, Micah.
We can hear you, Micah.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Yes, thank you so much for the class, and it was really educative. However, I do not have a question, but I'm really sorry, but I want to call out Mr. D a bit. While you were speaking, there was a statement you made, and to an extent, I found this a little bit offensive. I'm sorry to say. Yeah, when you were talking about, I think, the Constitution and about political parties having to submit their list to the INEC before primaries. And you mentioned something about Nigerians not reading. Okay, so next thing I found it a little bit offensive because I feel like everybody has their pace, and Nigerians do. I've quite met a number of people, and I can tell you people read a lot, at least contrary to people's beliefs. It is just, I just wanted to clear the air, that is all. But thank you so much for the class. It was really educative.
Thank you, Micah. And I'll tell you something. I don't apologize for that statement. Electoral College puts political literacy at about 82%. We put out quite a lot for this. When I say Nigerians don't read, I'm not talking about bookwork. I'm not talking about genetics. I'm not talking about automobiles. I'm not talking about engineering. I'm not talking about fishery. I'm not talking about general education. I'll tell you, my mother is a professor of genetics in ABU Zaria. My mother cannot tell you the functions of a local government chairman. It's me speaking clearly. So trust me, when I speak, I don't speak because I care about your emotions. I don't care about your emotions. I deal with facts. I deal with figures. And the Electoral College has been around long enough to understand it has its facts and figures when it makes statements. So if you're emotionally hurt, I'm going to tell you that across this class, you're going to be emotionally hurt quite a lot, especially from me. Because like I said earlier, there's no room for emotion or sentiments in politics. So if you are hurt, I think that the game of politics is going to really hurt you. And that's the truth. It will hurt you in any country. There's no space for emotional sentimentality. And I do not say this because I'm only the ED. I say this because I have lived this life. So if you are hurt that Nigerians do not read, I will tell you, not from experience or just for the benefit of the class generally. And the Electoral College can attest to this. We've been in situations with people that are even supposed to know, lawyers, SANs, etc., that do not even understand the Electoral Act. That's the position in Nigeria. That's the real truth. We sit down with speakers, with House of Reps, with Senate that do not even understand your constitution. Come on, you worked on the Electoral Act. Do you know that National Assembly didn't even see that they were removed as delegates? And when it was passed by the president, they ran back to the president to erase it after they gave it to the president for his signature. That is the country you are in. If you're not aware of what's going on in Nigeria, please wake up and smell the coffee. If you think we're in a sentimental position right now, I would say go back to 1970. It's 2024. There's no room for sentiment. There's no room for emotion. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Edie, for that clarification. Oluwaseyi, after Oluwaseyi, we'll take Isaac James, and I think we'll bring it to a close. Oluwaseyi, you can unmute and ask your question.
Okay, good evening. I've been enjoying the class so far. Can we hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, so I want to support what the electoral college person just said. The truth, I'm sorry to the person that felt slighted when they said Nigerians don't read. Whether we like it or not, there are exceptions to every rule. Nigerians don't read is true. The average person is versatile in his or her own comfort zone. Okay, I'm a pharmacist, and then there are times I make assumptions, and then my husband calls me and is like, no, you know it because that's what you do. Don't assume other people know it. And it's that simple. We are here to learn. And politics is a very, that's why there's a strategy, as according to what he said, there's strategy. And they played on some people's emotions, even this past elections. And if you want to succeed, generally, you must remove emotions. I'm sure there are some things they will say that will probably hurt me as a person, but I also know I want to learn. And that is why we are here. And so I'm just saying it generally. Everybody just remove emotions and let's deal with the facts. And let's learn. The first thing we are doing is to unlearn, learn and relearn. That's what I say more often than not. Once you are open to unlearning first, then you learn and you will learn. I think it makes it easy because if you have your own biases, you will probably not hear what they are teaching you because in your head, they are trying to sieve it and make it match what you know beforehand. Thank you for accepting us into this course, as it were, and let the class begin.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Isaac, you can unmute and ask your question. Isaac James. Isaac James, are you there?
Yeah. Okay, good evening.
Evening.
I remain Isaac James. My question is, I earlier asked a question in the comment section, which is how do we disabuse our mind with regards to politics and citizenship? Now, the reason why I'm saying this is I'm a conflict mediator, for example, and by the time you begin to pass this knowledge, to the states, and other places in Nigeria, for example, there will definitely be a conflict between you, who is a non-indigenous, and of course the indigenous. If there be a crisis as a result, how do we go about to resolve the crisis? Finally, on a final note, like I said earlier, I'm a media aid to your reps member right here in Plateau State, but I am not an indigenous of Plateau State. I'm an indigenous of Benue State. I was born and bred in Plateau State, schooled in Plateau State, and today, I was given this appointment. So I agree with that, but my question is, there's going to be a conflict. If you pass it on, how do we resolve that conflict?
Thank you very much. Isaac James, that's a very, very brilliant submission you made. I'm also happy that you acknowledge the fact that you are one of the abnorms to what we think is the norm. And so it's easier to explain this. Now, I'm going to make something very clear. The reason Nigeria stands where it is because we have forgotten that we have a country first before our tribes. I will tell you something, and I always use my life as an example, not because I want to be arrogant or whatever, but because I kind of understand the concept. If I start to tell you where I come from in Nigeria, you're going to get really confused. I have quite a lot of origins and quite a lot of mix-ups in my life. So I would say I'm a Nigerian. I sign everything with love for country. Now, of course, there's always going to be a conflict. People over time, and you can study history, they react to change, to what they think isn't normal. You understand? But let me ask you a question. Since you were born in state, it means only one thing clear. You have never paid tax to the Benue State government.
Yeah, true.
So why shouldn't you have a say?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking you, why shouldn't you have a say? And in issues of conflict, yes, you're going to yes, you're going to jam conflict. I will tell you, this is the 14th cohort. I will tell you, I've had students say this, students say that, students say this, students say that. I'm privileged to randomly visit about 16 states every, let's say, 8 months. So I live in Nigeria. And, people kind of think that some things are the way they are. Yes, they will be the way they are. People are resistant to what actually is. But let's be honest. Which of us Nigerians, name one of us, that doesn't have a blood that's outside the state that they say they come from? Which one of us? Be honest. Go back 2 generations, 3 generations. You probably don't come from the state you claim it's your state of origin. If I move to Lagos today, my great-grandchildren will call themselves Lagosians. But their father was born and raised in Zaria. He's part Fulani, he's part Ishekiri, part Yoruba, part Kanuri. Do you understand the mix-up? So we're going to really go back ancestrally. So who really is from where? Until we Nigerians disabuse ourselves from that ethnic thing. I always say this. Till we walk out of the boat of ethnicity, we will never walk in waters of nationality. I always say that. We will never. So if you want to argue, I'm Jukun, I'm Mangu, I'm Tarok, I'm using Plateau State now, I'm Birom, whatever, you are not going to go anywhere. And that's why Nigeria is exactly where it is. Till you start to see yourself as a Nigerian. And a few of us have broken those. And that was why earlier when I was talking, I used myself as an example. And I said, we're not discussing theoretically. We're not telling you something that we haven't practiced. At least I can say that. I'm not telling you something I haven't practiced. I ran in Abuja in 2019 and I ran very well. Very well. So you can't tell me, and I'm not from the FCT, I just lived about, as of the time, 20 years then. Now about 24 years. So I just lived about 20 years then. So you can't say, yes, there will be conflict. The people tell me, yes, the Gwari people come and meet me and say, Kule, why are you running for office in our place? You don't deserve to. But okay, bros, buy a form now. It's not hard. Do you understand? Buy a form, compete with me now. It's not hard. Do you understand? Nobody's stopping you. Say me, I bought the form. Say it's me that's going to waste my money, Abby.
Of course.
Is it not? No. Beremu pada gaskiya.
No, you're right.
Sorry, I spoke in Hausa. Sorry, I spoke in Hausa. So
of course, I'm very fluent in Hausa.
no, I mean sorry because of the class. I shouldn't have done that. So let's tell the truth. Buy the form now. She has so much against it. Run against me. Sure, if I lose, I'll go back. But if I win, and I will tell you something. Even Plateau is on the brink of having a non-indigenous Plateau governor 10 or 15 years from now. So is a lot of states in Nigeria. We deal with the figures. Look at the people that are voting. The non-indigenous population in Nigeria is rising higher and higher per state. That's the voting non-indigenous population. It's rising higher and higher after every election. So our projections are, in the next 20 years, we wouldn't be discussing indigenization. We'll be discussing who best can do the job. And wouldn't you like to be forearmed before we get there? Why do you want to live in the past? No, so I'll take you back. I think the first mayor of Calabar was Hausa. The first mayor of Kano was Igbo. We're talking 36, 37, that time. They didn't care. So we retrogress. We retrogressed sometime post 60s, maybe because of civil war. We retrogressed and went back to our, I think. But right now, we're becoming so diverse that we're going back there. It's inevitable. So wouldn't you rather be forearmed? There will be conflict. I will tell you the truth. There will be conflict. I don't need to tell you how many people insulted me while I was running for office. Oh, man, come on. I have more than 11,000 votes to show for it. If you think it's being stride now. So you can't, how would I put it? You can't place a lid. Yes, there's going to be conflict. How are you going to manage the conflict? With superior knowledge. Anybody should come out and tell you, okay, where in any political party's constitution or within the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that states you should be from a particular place to run for office anywhere else. Law does not stop you. Does not. So who is stopping you? A culture which is a way of life which we have infused into politics to limit others. Really? It's the same way we have women leader and youth leader in political parties. And we think that because we have women leader and youth leader, we have given the women and the youth a particular position, then subjugate them so that a man can become the position. Why is there no male leader? No, I'm asking a question. Why is there no male leader? Has any of you asked yourself that question? We'll discuss further. Thank you very much, everyone.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm grateful.
Thank you so much, Edie, for that. Okay, I am going to Nyam Peter. You're the last person. Nyam Peter Dazi is the last person we are taking for today, and then we call it a close. Nyam Peter, you can unmute.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes, I'm Nyam Peter Dazi from Jos. My question goes like this. Okay, the last person was saying that, okay, the law does not affect anyone that wants to come out for an election. Like, for example, in my place in Jos, that's Jos South, there's this Yoruba guy that came out for councillor. But because of the culture of the place, the man was not given that opportunity because there were a different kind of conflict that evolved during that period. So I think that these things, it works in a contemporary, in developed places. That's my own perspective. But sometimes we need to respect the culture of the people.
Peters, I need to clear something. I've heard what you said, and I need to clear something with you. Very, very much. A lot of people over the course of history of Nigeria, including in Plateau State, have won offices not coming from Plateau State or etc. Respect which culture of people. The culture is bigger than the constitution. The culture of any part of Nigeria cannot be greater than the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That's the first thing you need to understand, because it cannot. Respect which culture. But within a territorial boundary, we are guarded by a particular constitution which binds and upholds the offices that exist. No culture of anyone, Yoruba, Hausa, Tarok, Mangu, whatever, it's above the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If nobody gets anything from this introductory class, gets that. None. I know a lot of things have been in your mind. There are a lot of things you know. None. And I will push it up. The elites do not think the way you think. I'm going to clarify that. I gave a situation with Faleke. And Faleke, who was deputy governor to the governor that died in Kogi State, was still allowed to run for House of Rep in Lagos State. And he won it and he served him. What are you telling me? Then if the elites understand that critical point, then it means that the electorate has been fed these things so that they will remain exactly where they are. And you can't come to this class and tell me that we have to respect the culture. See, respect which culture? Yeah, we are Africans. We respect our tradition. But the culture does not come before the constitution. Even if we did it alphabetically, CO is before CU. Forget it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Edie, for that clarification and then insights. Thank you so much, everyone, for making it to today's class. So before we call it a day, I'm going to give Didi the opportunity to bring us to a close, to bring the class to a close before we take it further from there. Didi, Lisa.
Okay. It has been a very interesting first class. I think this cohort is going to be quite interesting. But like we've been saying, please just get ready to unlearn and relearn, because if you come with your biases and everything that you've already known, you're going to approach this course with a closed mind and you may not benefit maximally from it. So please just be open to learn. It's going to be an interesting journey. Make sure you give it your all and make sure you're committed. That is very important. Make sure that the 9 weeks that we spend together, you make it worth the while. So thank you all and see you tomorrow in class by 5 p.m. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Didi, for that. Thank you, Edie. Thank you, Maureen, and all the members of the region being here in class today. And welcome again to everyone. My name is Dukas Peace, and I have been your moderator for the class and for...
Dukas, please clearly state for the person in Plateau State that you are the deputy director of Plateau State. And if the person doesn't know that you are the deputy director of Plateau State, I'll hold you liable, because that means you're not projecting the college properly. Don't laugh. There's nothing funny here. We are going ballistics now. So please represent your position, since they say we don't exist in Plateau State. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Edie. That's we're going to review. That's my assignment. And please, so my last words to everyone, please, if you're coming to class, come with an inductive mind, not a deductive mind, right? We're coming to observe, interpret, and then how to apply. We're going to learn, relearn, and then unlearn. Please. So, and tomorrow our class starts by 5, exactly 5. No African time. No African time. Let's endeavor to join the Zoom link on time. And let's also remind others, do well to always refer back to the Telegram group. Informations are being dropped there, right? So do well to always check the Telegram group for information. Thank you so much for being in class today. Look forward to tomorrow's class. This is just the tip of the iceberg. See you in class tomorrow. Let's all have a restful night. Good night. Bye.